meeting. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Call to order. We'll do roll call.
Good.
Okay.
That's it. I got everybody.
You do?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. One change here on the, hopefully with your approval, Ms. Thompson. We already did it. The public comment, which is usually at the beginning of the meeting, has been moved to the end of the meeting due to the fairly extensive items on the agenda. If I could get a motion to go to executive session to review the commissioner's applications. And just for everybody's knowledge, we have received 3 applications for position number 1, which is Stan Riffel's position. Kimberly Betts applied about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Virginia Lester applied approximately 3 weeks ago as well. And Donna Gillespie applied as well on July the 8th or 7th. Is Donna Gillespie here? All right. Good. We're fine too. Just have one question for you, if you don't mind. You are on the ballot for position number 3, I believe. And now you're running for position number 1. Or you're not running for it, you are applying for that position. Is that what you wanted to do? Because you can all, in the end, you can only hold one position, right?
Right.
Have you talked to someone?
I would not run if I was appointed.
Okay, then you would, if you would be successful in being appointed, would you, is it your plan to withdraw your application, withdraw your nomination?
Yes.
Okay, you would still appear on the ballot because it's too late to take your name off there.
It was too late at the end of, I think, May, so.
Yeah, May 19th was the last day for that.
Well, that was the application, but you couldn't withdraw after, I think, the end of May, so.
That is correct. In any event, if you would be accepted for the appointee position today, you would, and if you would stay on the ballot, you will be on the ballot, there's no doubt about it, but you would then have to make up your mind before the 29th, or at the 29th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon of November to inform the elections office what your plan is, because you can only take one, right?
Right, I don't intend to.
You are totally ready. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Mrs. Thompson, can I have a motion? Yeah? Okay, I'll second that motion. You got that, Linda? Good. Okay, Chief, you want to join us? Or you want to stay?
No, I'll stay.
Okay,
What
fine.
do we need for? Do we need to state or do we just go?
No, we're going to discuss the applications, and hopefully after that, when we come back to the meeting, we'll have a vote and see if we can find somebody who wants to do this. That's fairly clear, Linda?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. We had a discussion, we reviewed the applicants for position number 1. And at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Thompson to come to a conclusion.
I did. You want to know it?
Yeah.
We had at our special meeting, we discussed a bunch of things. And we had one candidate who came in 100%, and that would be Miss Virginia Lester.
Yeah, we discussed the applicants, and I have to agree with Ms. Thompson, Virginia Lester is my choice too. Now, and that has been decided by motion, we're halfway there.
So that was a motion, Shannon made a motion, you seconded it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
That's okay.
Oh, you vote.
All in favor?
all in favor, and motion passed 2-0.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
The enthusiasm took me away. Okay. Now we have two pieces of paper we have to sign. One is the oath of office, which Virginia has to fill out. And at this time, I'm going to ask her to come up here. Would you mind coming up here?
Sure.
And then we have another one, which is the certificate of appointment, and both these pieces of paper will be sent to Bellingham to the auditor's office. But after Virginia signs this, and we sign the appointee letter, Virginia Lester is then officially the commissioner for position number 1.
You're number 1.
Appointment to oath of office. I'd like to fill that out. Your name here, your title, your position number 1, line district 5. That's your signature here. And we don't have a notary public, but I'll sign this and it's okay? Go ahead.
I'm hurrying.
No problem.
So I sign there?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's so quiet. Couldn't somebody tell some jokes or something? Well, hey, since you mentioned that, I have a couple things I want to say. I want to thank Kimberly and Donna. Donna, I've never met you. Kimberly, nice to see you again. I made comments for each candidate because I didn't know who to choose. So these are my comments about Virginia Lester. She is an unassailable pillar of our community. She has a proven commitment to the fire department and the community. Her lifelong dedication to service, she is a selfless person whose concern is for the betterment of others and the betterment of her community as a whole, which luckily for us is our community. Her extensive involvement in our community includes PrEP, Prince Robert's Emergency Preparedness. She was one of the founding people and has been instrumental since the beginning. Also with CERT, Red Cross. She did a lot of extra work while she was the nurse practitioner at our clinic here. She wrote articles for the paper, held extra classes, and she has experience with financials and related documents. So those were the things that were important to me. For those of you who may not know her, I'm going to read part of her resume. She does have a problem going into retirement. She keeps coming out. For our luck, she heard that. So she designed the clinic here. She hired the initial personnel. She functioned as the nurse practitioner and manager for 10 years. She helped write the grant for the clinic funding, which was awarded for 3 years of operation. I think that was, what, 600,000? And she made that go a year longer than it was supposed to go. So she's tight with the money. She was responsible for all financial arrangements, procurement of equipment, reports to the federal granting agency, which is not an easy thing to do, and the state of Washington. And so our community thanks you for all your years of service, and we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you. May I say something?
Sure.
These are very big shoes to fill, and I hope I can do as good a job as Stan has done, and or not as good. I will never stand up to him, but I hope I can do a good job, and I will try very hard to. Thank you.
I'm sure you will, Virginia. I have your address.
Oh, sure. What was the dress? That's sad.
Very nice. I'm all for it for you to sign.
I'll sign it last.
Yeah, right there where I mentioned, where I wrote down Shannon, under my name.
So I sign where you wrote my name?
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll get it. Chief, you'll take care of the paperwork.
I will. I go downtown. I go to Bellingham tomorrow, so I'll drop this off at the courthouse.
Okay. I totally echo Shannon's words here. I would like to thank the other two applicants, and please stay in touch. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to fill out paperwork and showing up, and I like that. And welcome aboard too, from my point of view. Okay? Good. And then at this time, we are a full board again. Let me point out to you the agenda. Wait. All right, over here now. And we'll continue with approval of the minutes, the last two meetings, the regular meeting of the 14th of June, and special meeting week after that, June 2-1. Someone, have you read the minutes?
I have.
Good. Would you make I'll make a motion this time. I'll move that we approve the minutes of the two meetings in June. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor, aye too. Done? Good. Financial, are you dialing Tiny Markel? Right on.
Sure am.
Aye.
No, the
Fire jokes all day?
Tiny Markel. She comes over once a quarter.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Patty.
Can you hear us, Betty?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yep, thank you. Thanks for being with us here. I understand you're coming up next month personally?
Yes.
Okay, good. Would you like to go over your financial report?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The July warrants total $13,765.15. The total for payroll is $19,362.34, and that includes chief staff pay of $5,000 and assistant chief shield pay of $2,833.34. There were 2 events for the commissioners and the secretary. The total payout for the volunteers, warrants included, is $14,270. And I believe the June financial statements are in your meeting book. So we're just looking for a motion to approve the warrants and payroll for July as presented.
Thanks, Betty.
You're welcome.
I had one question. I was wondering why Brad Lutz was
Absolutely. So Brad Lutz is one of my officers here. And during the summer, May, usually starting in late May, but definitely June and July and August, I put out to the volunteers that if anybody would like to pull day shifts here to have an extra firefighter on staff due to the dry weather and the potential. And Brad took every weekday last month. So that's why his pay is at this level this month. He is Canadian and he has obtained his ITIN number through the IRS, so we're able to pay him out those stipends.
Any other questions? No. What do you, Ms. Lester?
Well, I've just absorbed all of this in 30 seconds.
Actually,
Don't give him an inch.
I talked to Patty earlier today, and she's gonna, when she comes up next month, I asked her to go over that in more detail with you.
Good.
Because I was gonna do it with you today, and we could do it during the meeting, but since I'm sick, I don't really want to.
I don't want to be near you.
I don't want anybody near me, and so she can do it next month, so.
I'm happy to answer any of your questions during that period of time as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, I encourage you to.
I will.
Anytime you have any kind of questions, go talk to him. Or, that's about the only option, yeah. Or do it to me, talk to me.
Okay.
Or
Read more eyes.
Patty, because Patty knows everything.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with that.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
So I make a motion to approve the fire district vouchers totaling,
13,765.15.
thank you. And another motion for the payroll at $19,362.34.
That makes for two motions, and I'll second those. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Virginia's voting now, right?
Oh, geez, yeah, you're right.
Can I?
You probably.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Sorry about that.
That was 3-0.
He's done that the last couple of months where it's just.
Yeah, I know. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, if you're comfortable, you can vote, or you can abstain, because you just got the financials.
Yeah. Thank you for your.
Clear.
Okay, Patty, how about the budget update?
Yes, budget update for 2017. As of June 30th, the budget remaining is 54.31%, and compared to 55.67% last year in 2016. So we're under about 1.36%.
1.36%, that equates to about $8,000. What's the matter, Patty? We're short. All right.
I run over, but
All right.
we'll work on it.
Brad Lutz, that's.
Brad Lutz. Any more questions from your end?
No, I don't.
You're happy with it?
Yes, I am, but.
Okay, Patty, thank you. Appreciate you being on the phone, and we'll see you next month.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
See you next month.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Chief, correspondence?
I had 3 phone calls this month, and phone calls regarded past patients we had ran, and a family reaching out and giving us thanks for the care that we gave to their loved ones, and it was very nice to hear from them. I'm doing a community outreach every call that we run, medical call that we run. I personally reach out to the family if we're able to acquire phone numbers through our patient care reporting. I personally reach out to the families and the loved ones to see if there's anything else this district can do or follow up with to help them. I do want to let the community know that we're involved in a CARES program, and that CARES program puts us in touch with state and county and possibly federal assistance for individuals within the community. So we've had some tragedies in the community over the last month, 2 months. And I want to ask everyone here and everyone that would watch this video as well, if you know someone that needs help, whether that be clothing, food, They're a hoarder, because we do have hoarders within this community as well. We see those homes, you don't see those homes. You can never know what a home is going to be like from just the outside of the home, but we do have hoarders here in this community. Neglect in any way, senior neglect, child neglect. They don't have a social network within the community. All of those things we can possibly help with. And I would ask that you approach me privately and let me know who those individuals are. They do not have to give us permission to contact this organization, which is the North Region. We can send their information to the North Region Council, and then they will have the appropriate individuals or organization contact them back. Usually the services we're able to provide are state and or county or federal services that would be free of charge to those individuals. And I understand we're very, very isolated up here. And some people feel hopeless that they don't have the resources necessary. They don't know enough people within the community as well. And I would hope that through this program we can get more people in touch with the services that they need in any realm. And there's a whole list. If you would like to see the form that we utilize, it'll list out everything on the back of that form that we're able to assist with. So if anybody would like to have a copy of that form, I'm happy to give you that after the meeting today. But so it was very nice to hear from these individuals and to see that the service that the volunteers here are providing in my presence or not in my presence if I'm unavailable. But that when I'm not available, that everything's still 100%, and we're still providing the best care possible that we're able to. So that would be my correspondence.
And that goes for people of any age?
People of any age,
Economic.
young, old, economical situation, socio-economical class, anything like that, yeah. Yeah, and I want to know people here because I'm also a member of this community now. And personally, I want to do the best as an individual in this community, but also from a professional standpoint as the fire chief. I want to let you know that I'm here for anybody in this community. And if it's something that I can help with, I will. Most likely there will be things that I can't help with. And I'll apologize up front if I can't help you with certain things. But I'll do my best to provide contacts for you.
Thank you. Chief, you want to continue with your report?
Sure. So Chief's report for July 2017 for June of 2017. AFG funding update. I think I expressed this. We met funding in two of our grants. My $478,000 vehicle did not meet funding.
Oh.
But I'll keep putting in funding for that grant over the next one starts in August, I believe, so that grant will be going back in. But we met funding for our Life Back 15 grant, which was a regional grant for $300,000+, and also the Lucas mechanical chest compression device. The reason why I went out for the Lucas is this device performs CPR for us mechanically when we do not have enough personnel on scene to do 30 to 40 to 50 minutes of CPR. And we will get tired even with 3 or 4 people. We also expressed that, or explained that we have 3 forms of CPR right now, or will, with the Lucas device. We have regular CPR that we would learn on the Monday nights here. Then we have what's called a pump pod CPR, and that uses, basically it looks like a toilet plunger. I think we brought it out last month. That sucks to the chest wall, but we're able to pull, and it's active decompression and compression on the individual, which provides better flow to the vital organs in the brain, along with using an ITD or an impedance threshold device, which goes on the intubation tube or the king tube that's in the person's throat, which doesn't allow their lungs to fill up during the active decompression and compression state of CPR. What we do have with normal CPR is that over time the person is taking breaths in. When we're pumping on the chest wall, they do take small breaths in, and over time the chest can become hyperinflated, which decreases the amount of blood that would be returning to the cardiac tissue. And that's what we're trying to prevent with this new way of doing CPR. The Lucas device would add a third way of providing CPR to those that need it in this community. And it would definitely benefit this organization when our personnel numbers are low for that call. I think I'm really good to go on the Lucas. I'm waiting to hear back on that. The LifePack 15 grant is still up in the air. Even though we've met that fundable range, it doesn't mean the grant will be funded, because they could run out of money before they get to my number on the line at that point. But I'm really hoping for the Lucas device as well. Apparatus, nothing really to report on any apparatus except for engine 5802. A lot of you that have been following the business of the district understand that engine 5802, which we call Big Red, it's a 2,000-gallon tank. It had to go in for a tank replacement because the current tank had multiple cracks in it. And as we could tell, or what they could tell, it looked like it had been repaired a few times before. So we had to go back out for a poly tank to replace, to put back into that engine. And that repair has been extended out 3 weeks due to complications with the builder of that tank. And hopefully, that was about a week ago that got extended. And hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll have that engine back in the community for fire suppression support. We have 41 members, 19 Canadian, 13 Point Roberts, 9 County. It really hadn't changed from the month prior. 5 paramedics that rotate through this organization, 16 EMTs, 10 of which are advanced EMTs. 3 ambassadors, 33 firefighters on staff. Volunteer hours for the month of June, 2,907. It was a very big month for us. This month should also be large just due to the July 1st and July 4th holidays. Volunteer payroll, if all volunteer firefighters were getting paid, 16,433. Combined chief hours, I worked 207.5. Assistant Chief Shields, 135.5. Total hours, 343 to this community. Total calls for the month of June, 22. We had 11 EMS calls. We had 2 transports from this organization to St. Joseph's. We had 1 Airlift Northwest amputation transport down to Harborview. We had no transport, we had 8 no transports, and nothing else to report on EMS. Public service calls, we had 2. We had 9 fire classification of calls. We had 1 permitted outdoor burn, 2 illegal burns, 2 smoke investigations, 3 false alarms. We had 1 boat fire reported as well, and it was very lucky that that got caught because it was actually a smoldering, you want to express what it was?
Bow thruster.
It was a smoldering bow thruster that, who found that? The
Security at the marina.
They just happened to be walking the dock at the time and smelled the smoke and alerted us to that, and it was on a weekend, so we were fully staffed as well. But it could have turned into a very bad situation. I was very lucky that we got notified. I want to go back to burns. As you all know, the burn ban is on, and prohibited burns currently are residential, which are your tree clippings, and land clearing burns. So those are prohibited 100% at this time. The burn that is still allowed is recreational fires, and all burns on Point Roberts take permits. So you can come here to the fire hall and gain those permits. We extended the residential when those are allowed from 3 days to 7 days for $5. Land clearing is $50 per day, and those take a lot of machinery and usually are huge piles and take an excavator on site for 24 hours. And then the recreational burn permits are $20 for an entire calendar year. And those are your little backyard just pits. The fire marshal is very specific right now on what is pretty specific anytime really on recreational burns, that they can be charcoal and or seasoned firewood only. And the seasoned firewood is always a question of conversation. For us, you know, we understand that you might have to use paper to get that fire started, tree clippings to get that fire started, but recreational, residential cannot become a recreational. So you can't take all your tree clippings and call it a recreational, is what we're trying to say. And people do try to do that. Okay? And that's pretty much it on, do you have anything on the fire? But people have been doing really, really good. We haven't ran on a lot of illegal burns as of yet. We still have a number of hot months left. And I would have to suspect in the next week or two, if we don't get significant rain, they might actually ban all types of burns, including recreational too. Just to let you know, if you go to Costco or you go to Home Depot or wherever, you can actually buy propane outdoor pits, and those are actually allowed year-round. So those don't ever come in with the burn ban.
Chief, are you saying that because you have one of those, so you're okay?
Mine's on my deck, and it's a covered deck. So I'm not going to, it's if in your yard. I'm not going to require, recreational permitting if it's on your deck and it's up on your house. It's when it's out in your yard and it's in a pit, those types of things. Okay? But propane fires look really real, and we've stopped on a couple propane fires. But that'd probably be the safest way as well, because they don't give off sparks that can float away and actually stay hot for a number of yards and possibly start a grass fire. Did anybody go to the July 1st fireworks? Anybody in here? July 1st fireworks? So we had a number of grass fires at the July 1st fireworks. From the fireworks themselves, they were driven by very strong winds that evening, and I think it was a good testament to our crews. They did a really good job, but I would also like to say that the public got to visually see how fast a fire can grow. Just from little sparks, it can go from 1 foot to 10 by 10 in seconds when it's driven by wind. So I think for us that was a good educational point, that we had the opportunity to do that. We didn't light the fire, something else lit the fires, but that the public was able to see. So I would like to thank everybody though in this community for taking upon the burden that you're doing now. I think you're all doing a great job, and we'll let you know if you're not.
And so people can come and get permits when?
So we try to be here 9 to noon, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends. Anytime the firefighters are carrying the burn permits around with them on the weekends. So if you see them at lunch, or you see them at Lily Point or Lighthouse Park or at the store, you can ask to see if they have the permit with them at that point. And they'll go out to the truck and get it signed up for you and take your money and have you be on your way. But anytime you see the garage door open here, we are here and you can come in and get a permit.
So if there's a call.
Yeah, so we may not always be here just because of public service requests, emergency calls, those types of things. So we try to be here between 9 and noon, but we apologize if we can't be. But if you see us out and about, let us know. Okay? And we'll accommodate you to the best ability that we can.
Thank you.
I had a question of the chief. The question is this propane weed burning prohibited at this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have a tiger torch out there torching your lawn.
Right.
That would be very bad. The Forest Service has done prescribed burns before, or what they classify, and they publicize them, that they'll be doing, controlled burns of forest areas that they consider to be extreme high danger for ignition purposes. Some of those over the years have gotten out of control and have turned into hundreds of thousands of acres. So we don't want somebody just going around and torching, their lawn, because it does stay hot. They may not recognize it. They stamp it out. They may think it's cool. One of the largest fires in Colorado was actually started by a campfire that was actually buried. It was a Forest Service person who had it at his residence. They left on vacation. He did everything correct. The wind came up, actually blew the top layer of the pit that he covered, got to the coals that were still hot 2 weeks later, and caused over a 200,000 acre forest fire. So they can last for a long, long time, and that's what people need to say. When we were cleaning Benson Road at the beginning of the summer, I actually have a picture of it. I'll probably put it up on our website. We actually found a leaf that had a cigarette on it, and the leaf was partially burned. Yeah, because somebody flicked their cigarette out the window, and with no care, right? But if that leaf would have started, the surrounding grass had the potential of starting as well, and could have turned into a big fire for us. So those simple things, just flicking a cigarette out the window, can cause big problems.
So somebody in Allensport just got ticketed $575 or something for a cigarette butt.
Yeah. So we ask that please put out your cigarette butts or anything else inside the ashtray in your vehicle and dispose of it properly, and please don't flick them out the window. because it's high season right now for dryness.
Thank you, Chief. Any unfinished business you want to talk about, Ms. Thompson? No? Any new business? Okay. The executive session regarding the fire chief's contract. We would like to make one minor change, and I understand the change isn't on paper yet, so we'll table it until the next meeting in August. Is that okay with you? No? Okay with you, Chief?
That's fine with me.
Are we tabling the entire executive session?
Yeah,
Thank you.
we are. Public comment, anybody? Kimberly?
I have a question. The airlift program?
Yes, Airlift Northwest.
Yes, to sign up. My mother-in-law's coming down next month. She has signed up. She lives in Oregon. My sister-in-law did the whole thing, and at the end, it said it was for something about being Oregon or Washington residents, even though she lives in Oregon, but she has a house here. They signed up, they paid. There's not going to be an issue with her application. Will there be?
I have to direct you directly to call the administration office of Airlift. She owns property here in the
Yes.
state. It shouldn't be an issue since she
Right.
is an owner of
Yes,
property here
she's
and
not.
she pays state taxes.
Yes.
Airlift is funded through different means, but I can't answer that for you, so you have to call the administration directly
Okay.
to just make sure, confirm it, because I don't want to give you the wrong answer on their behalf. That would be really bad.
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody heard.
Because then you were paying the bill.
Yeah.
So-
Kimberly,
We don't plan on this, sir.
for what it's worth, and please don't end with the bill either if it backfires.
Okay.
I have personal knowledge of family, personal family,
Yes.
and they do not live in the state or in Oregon or California, they live in South Dakota, so
Okay.
even farther away, and they have not been denied
Okay.
that flight. As a matter of fact, one of them just got a little pass, so.
Great.
Yeah, and Airlift Northwest, actually, they have an agreement, I think, in Oregon with their flight crews. I know it's on the west side as well. So just so everybody, since you brought it up, just so real quick, just so everybody knows that Airlift Northwest, it's just not for Point Roberts, right? It's for the entire state of Washington. So if you're out on Mount Rainier, you're hiking, you need to be airlifted somewhere, that's great. If you're on the east side of Washington, they will airlift you over and they will honor that agreement with that flight service, and Airlift vice versa honors that flight service agreement. So and for Lower Maine, Alaska, so it covers you up in like Ketchikan and those areas too. If you're on a cruise boat, it's most likely to cover you if you're in the Alaska area on that. So it covers you in a broad area, and it's, don't quote me on this, I think we get a different rate as emergency services providers, so we get a little break. Because I'm on it as well, so we just don't get the break just because I'm a paramedic and they write off the bill. I have to be part of it too and pay the fee, but it's $79 for the average consumer, and that's for your entire household. It's not per person. We spend more on that going out for dinner usually, and so at least I do. I eat sushi, so that's expensive.
But one of the key points you've got to put out is you have to have initial primary insurance too.
Yeah, so you want to talk about their insurance with them. If you contact their administrative office, they're very helpful. And having underlying private insurance, I think Medicare and Medicaid do, that does suffice. BCAA coming in because international travelers now, we have a lot of international travelers that don't think about it. They only come across for commodities. They're thinking, oh, I'm down there for 10 minutes, and then they have their stroke at the marketplace. Make sure that they have cross-border insurance, but they can also get the airlift insurance, and it's $60 for 3 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's
Yeah, so then all of our Canadian influx or European influx, and they come in Point Roberts or anywhere else in the state of Washington, should look at getting the airlift component added too. Yeah.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you
Any
for the
other-
question.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Go ahead.
Thanks, Commissioner Mercy. On about 30 hours notice this week, Chief Carlton was able to organize a CPR instruction team. headed up by Assistant Chief Shields, and they came down to Maple Beach and certified 30 folks, I think, in CPR. A couple of them were under 16. So
That's great.
that's for a total of 191 over the past 3 years down at Maple Beach. Is very much appreciated. And to you, Virginia, we're really excited to have you on board. We think your appointment is very well deserved, given your support of this fire district over the past years.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ricardo. Anybody else? No? Okay.
There's a motion to adjourn.
With the motion, I
I second it.
All right.